This is Stef from Double Move Sports, and you're watching the Fantasy Film Room. The 10-2 Ravens have been nothing short of spectacular in 2019 and are one of the Super Bowl favorites with a win over the 10-1 49ers in Week 13. This win for the Ravens also came after beating the Patriots, Seahawks, Rams, and Texans over the 6 weeks prior. Since Lamar Jackson has entered the league and taken the NFL by storm, one of the biggest beneficiaries from day one has been his favorite target, third-round pick out of Oklahoma, Mark Andrews. Who would you think has the most targets in an NFL offense with the most points scored this season? Probably not a tight end, but Mark Andrews isn't your average tight end. The 6'5", 256-pounder has 12 more targets than anyone else on the team, wide receiver or running back. In college, Mark Andrews averaged a touchdown every 5 catches, and he leads all tight ends this year in touchdowns. Mark Andrews is top 3 at the position this year in PPR leagues, scoring more than George Kittle and Evan Ingram, who were circled pretty high on 2019 draft boards. Some fantasy owners were skeptical to start Andrews against the number 1 defense against tight ends in the 49ers. But those of us who have been keeping up with this Ravens team knew Andrews would play a key role in the Baltimore offense if they were going to compete against the second highest scoring team in football. In a Week 13 nail-biter, Andrews caught 3 of 6 targets for 50 yards and a touchdown, 14 points in PPR leagues. In this rough tight end landscape, that still makes Andrews a tight end 1. He averages 4.5 receptions and 57 yards per game and scores a touchdown about every other week. What can we learn about Andrews' role in the Baltimore offense and the quality of his targets based on Week 13? What makes him a weekly start regardless of matchup? Let's break it down. The Niners score on their opening drive and the Ravens punt it away on 4th down. After a Niners fumble, the Ravens get the ball back on the 23-yard line. On 2nd and long, they take a deep shot here to try to tie this game up. Andrews lines up tight, and notice he is set to run a route here. Andrews has improved as a blocker as of late, and you'll see him block plenty if you watch Ravens games. That's what makes their offense so tricky for defenses to read. The Ravens can make any play look like a running play. You'll also see Andrews line up in the slot quite frequently as well. On this play, Andrews runs a post up the seam. He runs past the linebacker, playing close to the line of scrimmage, and look at the soft spot he finds between 4 defensive backs. Lamar Jackson gives him a beautiful ball, and Jackson has been fantastic targeting tight ends, even from his college days at Louisville, especially in the red zone. A clean catch is made by Andrews, who falls into the end zone for a 20-yard touchdown to tie the game. 6 minutes into the second half, Lamar and Andrews link up again on the first play of the drive. Andrews is lined up in the slot and runs a curl. Look at how he finds an opening in the zone again, and also notice the catch. Andrews has the fundamentals down, which is an absolute necessity in a game out on the rain like this. 18-yard gain. With 2 minutes left before halftime, the Ravens get the ball with the game tied in the red zone. The Ravens have 2 tight ends in Hollywood Brown in trips right formation with Andrews in the slot, and they run 5 receivers wide. This is just the formation that Mark Andrews fantasy owners love to see. He runs a post route again and cuts right at the goal line. Lamar Jackson throws a bit behind Andrews, who is in some difficult coverage. On 3rd and 8, this is a little bit of a desperation play for the Ravens, who get the ball back at halftime and know they can settle for a field goal here. I would say that's the only knock you can make on Lamar Jackson. He wants to score every time he touches the ball, and most of the time he gets there. Andrews' next target isn't until a minute left in the 3rd quarter. The Ravens run 5 receivers wide on 3rd and 11, and Andrews runs a deep slant route. The Niners are in good position to cover the pass, but the 6'5" Andrews is a mismatch for most DBs. So Ward tries to get up and make a play, jumping into the air and slamming into Andrews before the ball got there. What happens next I have a huge problem with. Andrews had a chance to make this catch, but there was an egregious no call on this defensive pass interference. The NFL PI calls this season have made no sense in any way whatsoever. So even after a hardball challenge on this play, it's not overturned. Still, it's a tie game, and it's 4th and 5 for the Ravens. They run 5 wide again with Andrews lined up tight in the formation. He runs an in about 6 yards upfield, setting himself up perfectly to get a first down. Lamar Jackson tries to squeeze a bullet pass in low for Andrews with the defender all over him. This is a pass these two usually connect on every day of the week. Lamar lets Andrews know that this one was on him, but these are the kind of plays you see when you're up against tough matchups. Andrews' final target of the day comes on the Ravens' game-winning drive. Andrews runs a beautiful drag route, and this time they complete that low pass they were going for. 12-yard gain on Mark's last target. Andrews has great awareness when running around zone defenders, and coming into the 2018 season, he mentioned the game slowing down for him a lot compared to his rookie season. The way the offense has been set up by Greg Roman is perfect for Andrews, who essentially functions as a wide receiver 1 for the Ravens passing game. For reference, Andrews has around the same targets this season as Jamison Crowder and Tyler Lockett. The rapport with an MVP frontrunner Lamar Jackson has been built, and the duo has shown no signs of slowing down. If you have Mark Andrews in fantasy, you are probably already starting him, but if nothing else, this game tells you that he is a tight end 1 even in scary matchups. 2 of which he has in the fantasy playoffs against the Bills and the Jets, who are both top 5 against the tight end position. With the way the Ravens are moving the ball and the quality of Mark Andrews' targets, deep downfield and in the end zone, you must start Andrews unless you have a star like Kittle or Kelsey also on your team. Maybe you could find some easier matchups with Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson, or Mike Gesicki, but none of those really make you feel warm and fuzzy. I'll be rolling Mark Andrews out with confidence next week, and if the matchups scare you, remember one thing: tight end defenses don't matter when you're a wide receiver. Let us know in the comments who you guys would like to see me break down next. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And for more hot takes, narratives, predictions, and fantasy analysis, check out our podcast and follow us on Twitter. I'll see you next time.